Thank you for having us. We're really looking forward to this. We're going to perform a ritual in mask, lesser banishing ritual for those who like the occult. Follow what we do, because we do it again in closing. And at the closing, we want you to join with us. When we wear the mask, that's the ritual. And please walk about with us. Do you want to say something?
So we've got the floor for the evening. Please feel free to come around and listen to the source of the sound. This is about cleansing. It's about vibration and frequency. And follow your ears and explore the area, explore the space. Poèmes Électroniques.
Two houses up, right next to Joe. And I said, no, tell Angela it's just a burn barrel. I'm acutely aware that you have a war in flux for I've seen your...
Please join us in breathing.
Yes, I have a magnetic pole.
Out.
Transported
In.
The neighborhood's
Out.
is off. Lenses are erectile dysfunction on front.
In.
Yeah, well,
Out.
it's not a negative where we think it explains it very humbly about how it's not a magnetic force.
In.
Not just plain all but actually.
And out.
I don't know. So, I've
In.
had issues with neighbors. So
And out.
I have much faith in the general population. Yeah, we spent for sale, let's spend it between the bucket and the hot chocolate, paper, ball, wouldn't matter, this world is untouched.
Callahan's Salt Officer.
Junk is crazy as it were. The difference is that the speed of communication has increased.
Yeah, St. John. Oh, Don Bukla. In. Out. In.
Everybody else, but it has similarity. That's the point. It's not A or B. It's put it simply. Say this. My view is that it's not a one-dimensional axis. X axis left and right. It's not even a two-dimensional context and Y. It's not at least three-dimensional, which is X, Y, and Z. It's a force world. Don't lie along the single axis. That is the vision that's artificially created by those who wish to create the vision. So, I wouldn't identify as a conservative. I wouldn't identify as a liberal. I wouldn't identify because I don't think identification are useful guides. That's not all I want to. I mean, that's what one of the title to just. The true definition, original definition, I would be considered liberal. Just a discussion point. I agree with my idea that situation, nothing is completely left or right, and I totally agree with it. But the intent of this conversation, we're just discussing the insanity factors surround the subject, and that's my point. How do you want it? Well, the insanity comes in wondering what everybody wants to everybody knows. You want those who hold dialogue in public, those who respect like some of the morality.
Special relativity itself remains axiomatic in modern physics. We postulate the invariance of the speed of light as observed in Michelson-Morley type experiments and derive space contraction and time dilation as logical consequences. In this essay, we thoughtfully ruminate through a reverse path. It loses its fundamental. We will axiomatize an ether and derive as logical an emergent invariance of the speed of light, doing away with its counterintuitiveness. On a Tesla ether, axiomatic. Tesla thought the fabric of space sometimes behaved like a solid and sometimes behaved like a liquid, an unknown material. Special relativity did away with the ether altogether, while general relativity reinstated it in what Einstein called the elastic metric of space. To that end, we consider a speculative type of material, a compressible superfluid of sorts, like a very particular cosmic liquid crystal. While the narrative leverages condensed matter physics, the nature of this material remains magical, hypothetical, and fundamental. On condensed matter physics. In the second half of the 20th century, condensed matter research flourished experimentally and mathematically. Unlike pure mathematical physics, it lets actual experiments guide the models. Today, CERN physicists peering beyond the standard model use numerical software results from the latest QCD, implying many properties of this nothing. We still call the fabric of space the vacuum, possibly in jest, or just to confuse the masses. The vacuum teems with life, figuratively, and perhaps even literally, if you believe some mystical accounts. Tesla, foreshadowing the more modern condensed matter treatments, introduced this ontology of a viscoelastic material. Cement belongs to this category, crystals as well, although both evolve with different timescales. Sometimes they behave like fluids, and sometimes they behave like solids. On Planck-level ontologies, axiomatic by necessity, we just postulated this ether into existence. We say it behaves like a compressible fluid in a 3D at the Planck level via mechanisms we do not elucidate further. We consider it our starting turtle. In effect, we start from an axiomatic phenomenology. The ontology we use derives from condensed matter and takes place in the familiar visual 3D space. Other physical theories choose other starting points. For example, string theorists prefer to work with tiny strings existing in 9 to 10 dimensions of space, while loop theorists prefer to work with tiny loops existing in 3 dimensions of space. And turtle theorists prefer to work with tiny turtles and still not hold sway in many esoteric circles. On a force in the ether, this narrative focuses on the force as imparted by the vacuum on particles. The very Newtonian approach instead of the more formal, agrarian frameworks. We could call it the Star Wars ontology. Today, when we observe electron diffraction through physical slits, without any physical contact between the electrons of the beam and the electrons of the nano-fabricated walls, we observe interference patterns, baton. And if we believe in any notion of trajectory for the electrons, then the Newtonian narrative will ask, how does momentum exchange happen exactly? Non-destructive QM measures, the weak measures, suggest the existence of some sort of trajectories at the quantum layer, both for electrons and photons, in opposition to historical QM, which negates the existence of trajectories for particles. Then what medium of exchange would exactly allow the electrons to change their trajectories in force picture? Similarly, in the classical realm without the QM, when the Newtonian atom falls down to Earth, by what mechanism does momentum actually increase? In visualization in 3D ontologies, we emerge a non-trivial cosmology up to some quantum mechanical notions and SR, 3-dimensional space. We can also visualize advanced physics by imagery alone, alongside the non-trivial mathematics. The formalism of itself requires the mathematics of differential geometry, tensor algebra, path integrals, and group symmetries. GR and QM formalisms require the same mathematics, perhaps a coincidence or encouraging sign. Also, we can now visualize a fourth rank tensor as stiffness, nice crystalline. We may even communicate it visually with children, even if the final rigorous treatment requires years of training in the mathematical dark arts. On the Big Bang and dark energy, in the beginning of our cosmology, we hypothesize a Big Bang. We visualize it as an elastic media completely compressed. This compression means elastic energy stored, just like a compressed spring. Set free the compressed spring, universe, and it springs explosively in 3 dimensions of space. We call this the Big Bang. This original expansion of the stage itself, driven by elastic energy, is potential energy. We call the potential elastic energy dark energy, and it derives the expansion of the ether itself. Certain numerical ranges give us proper observed profiles of cosmological expansion, one with acceleration first, and then a dip in acceleration, and finally, re-acceleration, Raymond. During the expansion phase, the familiar visual 3D space, other physical theories choose other starting points. For example, string theorists prefer to work with tiny strings existing in 9 to 10 dimensions of space, while loop theorists
protected them from all evil and disease. People use lard as ointment, believing it helped relieve pain. They would also smoke their homes with a black pig's burnt hair. The tail of the black pig would be hung to a beam in the house as some kind of amulet to chase away all evil spirits, including ghosts, said ethnologist Delia Siogan. No part of the pig animal would go to waste. The lard was stored underground in special recipients and used as ointment for the cure of rheumatic conditions. The pig hair was kept and burned when necessary, with the smoke resulting from the fire being thought to cure the evil eye and drive away the evil spirits. The pig's blood would be mixed with maize flour to form a paste used to treat the flu. In some parts of the country, someone in the family would dip their finger in the pig's blood and make the sign of the cross on the foreheads of other family members to protect them from any danger in the following year. The feast of Saint Ignatius is also linked to an evil folk figure called Inatoara. In the early 19th century, in Romania's eastern region of Moldavia, Inatoara was depicted as a cunning old woman who tempted and then devoured its victims, namely people who did not observe certain rules of the community. On the eve of the feast of Saint Ignatius, the mistress of the house would step out into the courtyard and imitate the rooster's crow to keep this evil figure away. Also, people believed that on the feast of Saint Ignatius, the people who left their homes would carry rings or coins on them to be protected from the evil spirit of the Inatoare. And that's all from Roots.
And with that, our broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and North America, the East Coast, has come to an end. You can listen to our next program for Western Europe at 23 hours UTC on 6980 and 7220 kHz. Our listeners in North America, the East Coast, can listen to us tomorrow at 1 hours UTC on 6130 and 7325 kHz. We can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.ro, channel 1. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write an email at engl@rri.ro.
Please join us for final ritual. Lesson pentagram, closing. If you remember the names of the people that sing, please follow me. Please join us on and we're facing east. Please turn around. Breathe in, out. Out. Point up. Guys, start out. 1, 2. You can watch us, it's okay. Forward, just forward. Forward up. Down, legs. Oh, sorry, flat out. We gotta start over. Row closer, please. Follow me. Caroline Stockhausen. St. John, Paul Coltrane. Don Buka. Good. Breathe free and flat and we're done. 1,
Hey. Volume? Hello, okay. What an interesting journey. The sounds we could see, the sounds we could imagine, the sounds we could hear, the sounds we could feel. Okay. Let's start with you, Stuart. Your feelings after this hour.
I don't know. I'm tired. Yeah. It's so much information, orally. It's a meditative way, and I feel like I'm often very drained, physically too, but also just mentally, oftentimes.
For those that didn't read the bio, you worked with Stockhausen, so something about that, which is magical,
Yeah. He was always interested in the magical nature of music, the ephemeral nature of music, and using music to kind of reach another level. Granted, a lot of the things I did were not Stockhausen-ish, but I've had I was able to work with him for many years, and that really influenced me about how I approach percussion and music in general.
Fantastic, truly fantastic. And Mark, talk to us a bit about this journey into sound. How were you evoking these sounds?
We start from the Buchla, which is a analog digital synthesizer, Don Buchla. This is the easel, a very playable instrument, into a Richie Hutton and his dad, the Detroit DJ, or Ontario, I should say, designed this for DJs, but as a classical music mixer. It's a 6-channel with very expressive sculpting most of the night. The variation was just that. And in the middle, just hardware, 16 DSP, Eventide H9000, that's an 8 grand unit. Some of you may know the H9, the one that's 16 H9s basically connected through the SEN from the Model 1. And voices.
Obviously. Any choice of voices? I hear transmission, some sort of documentary possibly. Any choice made?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that actually. We started playing in the United States around that shortwave radio that you hear in the beginning. Very Nobart and kind of, I love the sound of shortwave kind of thing. And this was randomly recorded in the United States on shortwave radio, and you have like crazy right-wing shit where they talk about erectile dysfunction and portals and then socialists. And then you tune to the slaughtering of the pig from some woman in Romania, apparently, right? So you have a propaganda aspect that we try to comment as an art ensemble, theater of the absurd. And then you heard talks on occult from Al, occult history. A lot of history here with the Templars, so we thought we'd use that material from Al. Also, the ritual was done with him in Moogfest years ago. We invoked Iris. Here we invoke synthesis.
Yes, in fact, something about the ritual you just performed at the beginning, at the end.
It's the bare structure is lesser banishing pentagram ritual, LBPR. Intent is to clear space for our wills with our ghosts. We create the ghosts, right? Therefore, the opening, and I corrected at the end because I messed up the order. There is an order, and you invoke the people you want to work with that day. And we invoked Karl-Heinz. We invoked, who did we invoke? Edgar Varese for Poèmes Électroniques, because he designed the original at the Pavilion Philips. And then we always leave somebody open. And last one was, St. John.
Final question to you, Stuart. Obviously, your task is to follow whatever electronic sounds are coming, the sequences. So what feelings that gives you? How do you move along?
Yeah, well, Mark's always trying to find resonances in the room, and that will give pulse sometimes with the beating of the waves and things. So I try to find those pulses and fit something within that. And sometimes I'm actually leading a little bit too, and he'll follow me. But with those, like that kind of breakbeat thing and drum and bass thing at the end, definitely trying to feel that pulse of the waves beating. So it's kind of a mix, and just trying to, once he finds a space, I try to fit in with something hopefully interesting. Yeah.
Any questions from the public? Seems no. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
Do you think that, because you mentioned the occult, do you think that sound and ambience can cause to kind of agitate internal spirits and have them react to the sounds and the points in the rooms which are harnessing certain energies?
I surely hope so.
Okay.
The first time we performed this as Poèmes Électroniques, Stuart joined us in version 3. And in version 1 we did drums and drum machine, and we did Moogfest. And the first theater invocation we did was to Azathoth. And theater, so blood ritual, but theater, public, Illuminati, blah, blah, blah. And we do Azathoth, and it's a god concerned with survival of mankind, or actually any life form. And you can hear on the physics part, it's Azathoth. So we did hypnosis 5 days at Moogfest 3 years ago. And in preparation to that, I prepared at home with the theater aspect of the ritual, because it's scripted. And I do the ritual, and then I go to the synthesizers and I record something, and my occult friend, Al, calls and says, "That's interesting, it sounds like a French band called Azathoth." I'm like, really? And so, yeah, always we invoke always something good, hopefully.
So I'd like to say some thanks first and foremost to yourselves for supporting us and coming, to the artists who performed and to graced us the second night, to all the other artists that actually participated in this long day. A final thanks for those who support us, Spazju Kreattiv as always, all the people, all the guys, Charlon, Martin, and everyone. Thank you very much for hosting us every year and every now and again. Our sponsors, Late Interactive. Thank you, Tony. A big round of applause for the lighting. Fantastic. Well done, man. Red Bull for actually helping us finance this gig, to Olympus Music, Black Box, who literally set up a shop downstairs, fantastic, and Printker, as usual, who help us out in the flyers. So thank you very much, everyone, and good night to you. Thank you.